Hello, welcome to another episode of Constitutionalist Podcast. I am your host, Joseph M. Leonard. That's L-E-N-A-R-D. It looks French. It's not. It's Leonard without an O. Thank you for tuning in. As Graham Norton used to say on his show, let's get on with the show! Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode. I already can't talk again. I hit record and the mouth stops working. Why does that keep happening? I can talk perfectly fine when the record light isn't on. At any rate, welcome to the show, Scott Fehrenbacher. It sounds like F-A-R. It is spelled Fehrenbacher. Welcome to the show, Scott. How are you?
Thanks, Joseph. I'm good. How about you?
I always say could be better, could be worse, right?
Yeah.
Before I complain too much.
Right.
Before I complain too much, I remind myself a whole lot of people got it a lot worse than I do, right? As the joke goes, morning came and we were on the right side of the lawn.
That's so true.
Not 6 feet under, right?
Amen.
So, at any rate, Scott Fehrenbacher is CEO of Canuckian Land's National Christian Radio Station. So, I went. How are things on the other side of the river, or are you in another province?
No, we're in Vancouver, BC.
I thought so. Right, Detroit area, Windsor, Ontario, Canada, just across the river. Obviously, yep. I did go to worshiproad.com, and I thought I did see that you were indeed the left coast there.
Yes,
so
exactly.
But I didn't remember exactly. Which brings me to my first question. I'll skip the usual first. Worshiproad.com, not .ca. What's up with that?
Well, we while we're the national radio station, Christian radio station in Canada, we have more listeners from the States than we do Canada, just because of numbers. So I'm an American living in Canada for 10 years. And so we have a really broad listener base in the States as well.
All right. Okay. So you fled the U.S., huh?
We'll just leave it that I live in Canada. How's that?
For the benefit of the transcript, we're laughing. We're joking here, right? Please calm down, right, people. Gotta say that for the transcript, or I might get a nasty gram later, right?
Probably anyway will.
Now, let's go back to the usual first question. Who is Scott Fehrenbacher? Where were you born? Where were you raised? We know the where are you now answer, but where were you born and raised and those kind of nitty gritties? What made you go to where you are now in that answer?
Well, I'll try and not bore your audience too much, Joseph, but I'm originally from Idaho, and my career sent me into a number of places. I lived in Washington, D.C. for 7 years.
Oh, my condolences.
And I don't live there any longer, obviously. I lived in Colorado Springs for 7 years. I lived in Phoenix, Arizona for 7 years. And I've been in what I call the business of faith for 3 decades. And that's been how my career has moved me around the country. And about 10 years ago, I got an offer from Canada's leading Christian university here in Vancouver to come up to be senior vice president. And it was a job that I couldn't pass up. So my family moved up here, and we've been up here ever since.
Yeah, despite the bad exchange rate.
Yes.
Yeah. I I used to vacation in Canada all the time when I was younger. 9/11, of course, made border cross a
Mhm.
mess. So I haven't been over there in oh Lord knows how long. But I used to vacation up Native Son, Gordon Lightfoot, Aurelia, Ontario, Canada, Aero Sparrow Lake. I used to vacation there all the time. So and
Very nice.
yeah, back in the 80s, we'd get 50% above our US. What is the exchange rate these
Oh, it's
days? Do you
still
know?
very nice. It's for you guys, it's about 35%.
Oh, it's a lot higher than what I thought it was because for a
Yeah.
while it dropped significantly and the Canadian dollar almost got equivalent to US dollars for a while and I think
Yeah.
the late 90s. But
It was
at any
almost on
rate,
par. Yeah.
yeah, almost on par. Yeah, but we're not here to discuss currencies.
No, definitely not.
But, most people listening, they're not a northern state. They don't know anything about Canuckian land. So,
That's
educate
true.
them a little. There's like Canadian currency. I didn't know they had their own currency. Yeah, and I love the Canadian currency. The way I especially love the blue $5 bill. But again, you're not here to discuss currency. So, but I'm getting all kinds of beeps and dings and clangs because you got the extra note takers going on there.
Oh,
Uh, what is this telling me? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I don't care. All right, click. Back to the important stuff. Uh, so, so you say there are more listeners in the States, but how is the listener? I take it the point is to try to grow the listenership in Canada, though, yes?
yeah, absolutely. If you take a moment to look at the geography of Canada, Joseph, I mean, it's so large and it's so
So cold.
much of the country is cold. Vancouver's not cold. I have
that's
friends
why
that live
that's
in an
why
igloo.
80% of all Canadians live in a 5 mile radius of the southern border of Canada. Yes, because it's
Yeah,
too cold further north.
yeah, it's not necessarily 5 miles, but it certainly is close. But so there's never been a national community on Christian radio in Canada because it's so geographically diverse. With the
Sparse, yeah.
technology we have today, we can reach Newfoundland to Vancouver Island to Yukon back to Nova Scotia. And so that's really what I call democratizing access to Christian music in a way that's never been done in Canada before.
Yeah. Now, I did go to worshiproad.com. I hit the contact form and I don't know if you saw the reach out I did over there, but I don't remember. Is there, like you said, technology, right? Streaming. Is there a listen live button on worshiproad.com that people anywhere on the planet could go to worshiproad.com and hit listen live?
Yes, there one of the top buttons says listen, and so you can do that. Most of our people listen on their phone. We have free phone app, whether it's Google or Apple. We have a lot of people who listen to smart speakers. So you can say, I can't say it because I have an Alexa right here, but if you,
If you give the appropriate command,
yes, say play Worship Road Radio after you say the word Alexa.
yeah,
Uh, and so smart speakers are also a way, but the fact is, Joseph, that phones are the way all content is being consumed right now.
yeah.
So,
I actually use my phone as a phone. I'm one of those odd people. Everything else, I prefer all the social media and, or if I'm going to listen, I'll do on my laptop.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear tinniness out of that little speaker, but hey, whatever floats people's boat, right?
Yeah. Well, so for example, I'm sure you can put your phone in some pretty nice speakers. It doesn't have to come through the phone, right?
With Bluetooth now, yeah, like my sister does that all the
Yeah.
time. She gets in her car and immediately the phone syncs to the radio and she listens to Pandora or whatever through, yeah, via Bluetooth through the car speakers. Then it sounds really, really good because car
Exactly.
audio these days is really, really good.
Yeah, that's right. So we don't, we actually see that the digital quality of the music is so much more enhanced than hoping that FM signal is good. We actually have a partnership with a Christian Truckers Association because they have, you either have a stale playlist or you get a different station in every city, and then between the cities you get nothing. So we're perfect for that kind of a lifestyle where it's always accessible anywhere in the world, anytime during the day. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's what we're all about right now.
Is Worship Road Radio, though, carried on terrestrial stations?
No, no, we're not. No, and that's by choice. Um, One of my earlier career paths was a company, NASDAQ traded company called crosswalk.com. And I was the CEO in Washington, D.C. Back in the, 1999, we had to explain to ministries and organizations what the internet was. And we had so many people saying, well, who knows if the internet's even going to be here next year. Um, I was given an award by the National Religious Broadcasters in 2001. We were the top internet destination for Christianity, and we won that award. But when I was introduced, the guy that introduced me, a well-known comedian, he said, "Well, who knows if the internet's even going to be here next year? This may be the only time we give an internet award." And so I find that, you
Yeah,
know,
he was a real forward looker.
yeah, right, exactly. Well, Joseph, I believe we're at the same spot right now with radio, and you can see it, you can read it, that we're talking to people about embracing new technology that allows us greater access than we've ever had before. So what's wrong with that? Especially if we're talking about the gospel, isn't that kind of what we're obligated to do in the Great Commission? But, I do find that the Christian space generally is not a first adopter, if you know what I mean. Usually
Right.
reacting and behind the curve when it comes to new technology.
Yeah, I'm going to pivot temporarily to U.S. politics here. I'm one of the people fighting the move towards eliminating AM radio. We need still an analog signal and station, and like in Detroit here, WJR 760 AM, one of the licensed super stations. They broadcast at such a level that it's heard on some days west of the Mississippi. I mean, that signal's that good, right? Our TV, all the stations pivoted to digital. I don't see that as a great thing. It's good for quality if you're close enough to the transmitter to get the digital signal, but the analog signal reached a lot further. More people actually got it. And same with FM. A lot of them have gone to a digital broadcast signal, and the range just isn't as great. I want to save our AM stations both for talk radio, and we have several Christian stations that are local they're fairly low powered. They don't reach very far, but I don't want to limit their reach even more by making them go digital, and they won't reach as far. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I would tell you, first of all, I think you are an early adopter. You have a podcast. It's digital. I can follow you in Vancouver.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been a guest on WJR. It was a very active show, but I can't get WJR here.
No,
But
no.
I can get Joseph Leonard here. So,
Yeah, and
but
thank
I
you
would,
for pronouncing the name right. It looks French. It's not Leonard. Especially Canadians will think, oh, it's French
of course.
Quebecian, right? It's Leonard. No, Joseph M. Leonard, Leonard without an O. And I have to use my middle initial because there is a Joseph Leonard out of South Carolina who is also a Christian author like me. So I got to make that distinction. But yeah, and
I
I'm
did
a
not.
yeah, I could tell you did. And I'm a former IT guy. So yeah, I've
So
been online before there was an internet.
here's well, and good for you. I mean, you are seeing the value of that. But this is what I would say since you asked. I think AM stations should be there as long as the market's there. But I don't really like legislation that mandate cars to keep AM radios. I mean, why do we need a law? Wouldn't that be the same as a law that says, okay, Henry Ford, you can build this automated car factory, but by law you have to keep a blacksmith in the corner. Well, if Henry Ford would have done, you've heard the quote, I'm sure, if Henry Ford would have done what the customers said they wanted, he would have, it's like we want faster horses. No, none of the customers said, hey, we want automated cars because they didn't even know. And so I've been on many AM stations, I mean, I love talk radio. I'm a news guy myself, but I just don't think that you should have laws mandating it. Let the marketplace tell you where to go.
Normally, I'm 1,000% a free market guy with it, but the government already meddles regarding regulation, and usually they're the ones forcing the digital rather away. And it's not just about car radios; it's about all radios. If we are going to maintain this thing called the emergency broadcast system,
That's true.
the AM analog signal needs to remain there for the use and implementation of the emergency broadcast system. So,
That's
yeah, normally I'm
best way to make.
anti-regulation, but in that regard, which is not to say digital radios are in the cars, right? Like my car too, has got an MP3 player, and like my sister's a Bluetooth. I could make the phone sync to the radio. I want all the options, not an option eliminated, is the way I'm looking at it.
Sure. Well, and interesting you mentioned that in fact, almost all Americans don't understand, and I didn't myself, that in Canada, if you have a terrestrial radio license, you cannot be by law a Christian radio station because the mandate by law is that you have to reflect all faiths or no faiths. And so another reason in the digital world, I don't have that encumbrance. I'm free to be a truly Christian station. And, that's an important point.
I'm glad you brought that up. I had on Tim Curry, aka Kid Curry, guy that's been in radio forever, and he's peddling the fairness doctrine. No, no, no. Buddhists, Muslims, whateverists, atheists do not get to demand on your station that they would in the US if the fake fairness doctrine were forced in place again. No, no, market. Go where your message is, willing to be received. If a station will have you on, fine. If not, as you said, do your own podcast. No, you do not get to force your message on Worship Radio Network. I oppose the fairness doctrine. I oppose the bogus, what's the Internet Control Act thing? Again, they give these bills flowery names, right? And we're going to promise internet for everybody. It's internet fairness. No, it's government takeover, government control, which means government ultimate at the end of the day can then decide to censor you if they choose.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah. Yes. So at any rate, yeah. Sirius XM, they're merged. It's just Sirius. Well, it's Sirius XM now. They were separate. Sure. Everybody just calls it Sirius now. Are you a channel with Sirius? Have you reached out to Sirius to be a digital? My radio in my car has access to XM or Sirius now radio. You thinking about doing that at all?
We've considered it, but part of the distinctive that we have is that you shouldn't have to pay a subscription. You should have free access to this music. And so at least our brand, I think that we would be degrading our brand. I know we'd get more listeners, but if you know Christian radio, music radio, you know that what I would call the very complacent and old school business model that exists in Christian music radio is that the data shows that for every 60 minutes of programming, 27 minutes is either ads or fundraising. So, it's very fatiguing. And it takes the ministry out of the ministry. And so we're pioneering this concept of access to a Christian music live community 24/7, no ads, no fundraising. We're not questioning your salvation if you don't send in a $5 donation by the end of the hour.
Amen. I hear you. Dennis Quaid, which I'm upset, I'm jealous to a degree, because I coined the term Christitutionalist. He coined the term churchianity. And indeed, a lot of these are just humanist clubs with a steeple. They're not really a Church of Christ anymore. It's all about the Benjamins, right? Oh, don't preach that part of the Bible because it might upset somebody and they won't give us the 20, right? Right. What you said right. Now, what you said about Sirius, I understand what you're saying. If it were your only outlet, I would agree with you. But as an additional opportunity to reach, it makes sense. And I understand and agree with what you're doing with your model. Yeah, you want all of the time to be the mission of Christ, not the mission of fundraising, as you put it.
Right. And, look, that's how Christian music radio has grown, and that's fine. But I think with technology, it's time to evolve. If we have the opportunity to get our message out broader, better, why would you say no?
Yeah, it's not like Jesus at the invention of the automobile would say, no, stick with the horses, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So the automobile and the telegraph, even though, which then, of course, led to the radio and the telephone and TV, allows us better opportunity to use the technology of the time to spread Jesus's message.
And you're a great example of that, Joseph.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. The check's in the mail. I appreciate the paid promotion. But seriously, all kidding aside, I am going to start to wrap it up. Thank you for coming on. worshiproad.com. Any question I didn't ask, anything you want to wrap up with?
And I appreciate the offer to do that. I would just say that if anyone in your audience finds value in Christian music, and a lot of people do, especially in unstable times, to put the message of hope, inspiration, and God's promises in our heart, in our head during the day, is a pretty valuable thing. So if anyone wants to do that and test us out, download our app. Worship Road Radio is what it is, or go to worshiproad.com, or just check out Alexa and ask her to see it too. So, and Joseph, I hope you do that as well, and let me know what you think.
Yeah, I love Pat Boone as a person, and I kind of enjoyed his acting. His singing, not necessarily so much, but Wham Radio here in Michigan, out of Ann Arbor, the signal is, I listen to them via whamradio.com, and they carry the Pat Boone Christian Music Radio Hour every Sunday at 11. I'm always tuning into that. So
Don't find that here. No.
No, so I'm right. As other day options than Sunday, I'm going to definitely have to check out worshiproad.com for the listening aspect. Thank you, Scott, for stopping by. Appreciate it. Take care. God bless.
Thanks, Joseph. Appreciate it.
Like and subscribe to Constitutionalist Politics Podcast and share episodes. We need your help. Thank you for having tuned into another Constitutionalist podcast show. I really appreciate that you stopped by. Again, please like, share, subscribe. We need you to help spread the Constitutionalist movement. Thank you again. Take care. God bless. Love you all.